Hey folks, and as you've seen, the Bitcoin price is jumping up and it's going onwards. And some news said that it's about maybe a new ETF could be regulated, and at the same time, it shows out that the SEC also rejected an ETF. So why does this news not depend on the Bitcoin? You have seen this last ETF who was cracked down by the SEC. It doesn't matter on the price on Bitcoin anymore, because after 6 years of trying to make an impact of Bitcoin ETFs, and always they have been rejected, there is a negotiation that we have to discuss about ETFs. Why does the SEC this do? First, you have to understand that ETFs is something like an future on ecstasy, okay? So this describes it for all. So even if only qualified investors can jump on, this is like a secret automat. You can say, okay, you have to put in your passport or driver license to get the cigarettes out, but your big brother is coming and helping you in. So this is one of the reasons why ETFs haven't got any chances to get in, because everyone can jump on board easily and surpasses the checks and everything if it comes to a qualified investor. The other thing is, it will lead a jump and down of the market more at, I would say, for example, I give you a good example. The Bitcoin price is 10,000. You dumped with an ETF in the same minute on this exchange, which is providing the ETF, the Bitcoin price down to 2,000, for example, in an oversold market. And this leads into the situation that the ETF providers have an impact on the price of Bitcoin, because it's dumped over an exchange and is outputted and outgiven from an electronic exchange system. So there are insider knowledge in these trades, and they are heavily will impact the market, and not only the market, because at the moment a lot of institutional investors are involved in that. We have a lot of hedge funds in Bitcoin, even if you do not see them acting at the moment, but they're invested. We have Bitcoin bonds, and we have a lot of things in there, so they can have a deep impact on high speculative market like an ETF. So when it comes to the first ETFs, a group of people have written an open letter. I signed this petition, and do not start an ETF, because this is not what Bitcoin is about. So future contracts, you have seen, always make an impact on the market and the price, and we are now recovering from an oversold, and that's the reason why Bitcoin is going up. If you watch my show, my insider report, and you sign up for that and subscribe, you will likely see on vimeo.com/on-demand/Satoshi News that I days before said that we're in an oversold market, and the price now have an outbreak to 9,000, or recovering upwards to 10,000 again, because we are on a jump back market. Bitcoins are heavily bought on the market at the moment, and we see a volume on the exchanges which is increasing at the moment. So this is nothing you can pound in on an ETF. So even if it is rejected now, see, this is maybe a coincidence, but this is not the glim people believe for Bitcoin, and it is not depending on that. So Bitcoin price always has been used to different price models. So for example, you have heard about Venezuela. One of the largest retailers is now using Bitcoin, and the attraction is going there because they accept Bitcoin as payment and not as an exchange value. And whatever happens out there on the real markets and the adoption of Bitcoin, and this is not an adoption, oh, I take the Bitcoins and I accept the Bitcoins, but I have a payment processor in between which is changing it into fiat. This is nothing. Yeah, this is only what we will say the necessary for the old world to jump onto Bitcoin, get the feeling from, but the end target is what you see in Venezuela, what you see in Zimbabwe, what you see in Kenya, what you see all over the world, where fiat is worthless because of the high inflation. The next point why Bitcoin is rising is a news coming out, and it's more important. A banker of a Swiss bank, one of the largest, was saying that money is worthless, and he sees the future in Bitcoin a little bit, because he said the value of the fiat money is melting, and over the crisis and hyperinflations all over the world, we see likely, if debts are not spendable, I would say, if companies not able to pay back their debts, you would say that likely you see that the whole value in money is nothing than zero. And this is another point which get interesting on the markets when investors come to the point that they want to invest into bitcoins and waiting for the next crisis, because the next crisis is coming because we see the crisis. The last crisis in 2008 was not coming because it must come, because the economy was expecting a crisis, and now the economy is expecting even a higher crisis, and that's why we lead into a crisis, and that's what it is. And the institutional investors seeking for alternatives movements. So likely, for example, in Austria, there was Chamber of Commerce organizing a meetup for for investment banker, and it was open for everyone, but the advertisement for that was noticed by only a few people. So a friend of mine was going there, and it was about how should we act on the people, and they make clear, if you now say to people a crisis is coming up, even if it is right, you are guilty for breaking the rules in their own company, because they say no one has the right to talk in that way about investment funds or given an investment warning out of the company, so they likely could be charged for that. But they said also in this investment meetup that the crisis is there, so you can see how the market is reacting on the customers. They will be likely tricked out and lead it into wrong investments, even if they know that they lying to the people, because they do not want to lose their jobs, and they do not want to be charged by harming the company rules here. See, that's what the world is, and that's what out is, and this is leading all the stuff into Bitcoin, because we need honesty in financials, and we need trusty sources and everything, and we need a control system which is providing us the truth in our transactions, and this could never be a third-party controlled DLT. So a solution for that you will likely see in that point, that we can use Bitcoin as a receipt management. So for example, you will set up a DLT, and for every transaction you made, there will be sent a Satoshi over the network and get a receipt out of that, so that the decision to make a transaction from a company is not reversible and proved by a Bitcoin transaction. So yeah, there are a lot of solutions out there, and a lot of possibilities to make workarounds about that without having a DLT running directly on the Bitcoin network or something like that. We will see. The future is open, mind open, but as you see, the price is going up because of this instances I gave you here in this video. So enjoy the news, and if you want to have more deeper knowledge, and if you want to have subscriber news which are controlled and which are proved of their reality and worthy, so do not hesitate to subscribe on vimeo.com/ondemand/Satoshi News. Thank you. Bye.